Hello and welcome to Outward, the Sororbians. The Sorbians? Sorry beans? However you want to pronounce it, really. This game touts itself as a survival RPG. Or an RPG with survival elements. Anyway, it has little in the way of direction. It's just kind of, go. Now, I will be doing this as a Let's Both Play. The other person isn't here right now, and this is a bit of a prequel video because I've already recorded the first set, and there's a lot of things that we kind of stumble over that will leave a lot of people trying to follow along or understand what the game is about completely in the dust. So, what I'll be doing is going through the intro and showing you the premise of the game as well as the mechanics that function with it. Before we stumble through in multiplayer. By stumble through, I mean stumble over and probably forget any semblance of plot. So if you want to know the premise and other aspects of the game, watch this first. We'll be more mindful of that in later sets. The first one was kind of just, hey, should I record this? Sure, why not? We're already a half hour in and already probably way late in the night. Either way, let's start by making a new game. One player, please. Game mode, normal. Hardcore mode does allow permadeath, but I believe there's only a 1 in 4 chance of actually dying. The game, I believe, can be quite cruel. Kazite. Aurorian. Charmon. Kazite. Ooh, the oldest man in the world. No, that's a bit too on the nose. But why not? I'm lazy. Ugh. These are all terrifying. Maybe these work with his face. Is this a Unity game? Is this why the hairstyles look so horrible? What's that? Is that Yubaba from Spirited Away? Or Zeniba? Oh, they're both the same, aren't they? Let's just go with bald. Human. Sure, why not? That sounds like a strange name that someone could have in a fantasy game. Let's create. There is a sort of intro. There is a starting premise to the game, but it quickly opens up after that, and you'll see in a moment. Kersanese. Positioning players. You mean player. All my life I've lived within the safety of Cierzo, spared the brutality of the world outside. But life in Arai is never that easy. For all the safety that my tribe provides, our laws are harsh. We are judged not as individuals, but as bloodlines. Important. The failures of my bloodline weigh heavy on me. My grandmother brought ruin to our tribe long ago, bringing a heavy blood price upon my family. We've paid the debt caused by her actions ever since. What was this, like a Mayan temple or something? Ooh, skulls! Nice motif. I joined an expedition across the sea with my old friend Dizan, hoping the money made there would be enough to clear my debts. This was a mistake. I'm lucky to still be breathing after our ship hit the rocks on the return voyage. Oops! Now I have no choice but to pick myself up yet again and face the wild, untamed land outside the walls. Oh, and the wild, untamed land outside the walls. Hopefully I read that properly. Either way, I read it properly now. Ugh. I must carve out my own future, or die trying. You can store any item you want in the stash chest found in homes. Not that the currency, silver coins have weight. Note that they have weight. Those are the most basic way of to make range attacks. You can zoom in and shoot at distant foes. Note that arrows must be equipped before they can be shot, because yes. Okay. So here's where we start, and we get to hear a plane flying over my house. Why that's flying over my house at 8:30 p.m., I'll never know. So, we have several statistics. These are our vitals: health, stamina, and mana. We have 0 mana to start off with, and in order to get any magic at all, we must go to Mount Magic. Also, coldness is happening while this is going on. Our stamina and health will replenish up to a certain point, and as our character grows tired or more progressively injured, it will be capped. As in, your max health will become 90, then 70, and the way to restore that is through resting, using bandages, and other things. Food, drink, and sleep are all things. Corruption is another thing that can happen. It's inflicted by enemies and zones and things, and it has its own specific kinds of debuffs and stuff. I don't really know much about it because I haven't played this game very far. But as each of these get lower, it causes specific effects. I believe if your food is lower, it causes your health to burn quicker. Burnt health is what reduces the max. Drink does it to stamina, I think. And sleep, I'm not sure what it does. I've never let it get very low. This is where, logically, your equipment is. Helmet, chest armor, backpack. It's all very self-explanatory. I believe that's wetness and your defenses. Miscellaneous. I don't know what everything in here does. I can hit the help button so we know. Status resist. Okay, that's different. Barrier, protection. You can pause the video if you really want to read all these. But as I'm farting around, things are going... Oh, I have some money in my pocket. Cool. I didn't know that. All usables, deployables. You have your effects, both negative and positive here. Crafting, where we have various recipes that we can use to craft. All kinds of goodies. Oh, plank shield. This is where your skills go down here. If you want to assign a quick slot, you can go between items or skills, of which we have the ability to throw a lantern. It wastes the lantern, but creates a zone of fire. Kick them, which depletes their stamina bar down here, which can knock them down. Shooting them, but it requires a gun and bullets, and our offhand. Or dagger slash, which I call the shank, and that requires a dagger. Passive skills, cosmetic skills. What's this? Summon Weber. I didn't know that was a thing. Huh. What does it do? I'll just put that on Q as a joke. Oh, this shows our skills. Alright. So we don't have to look the other way. And our journal. Do we have a map? We do, but that's not much of a map. In fact, that's a screenshot. Right. Anyway, the ship went boom. We are here now. It is possible to die in the starting area, but death in this game is more you get knocked out. And you're moved into an inopportune situation where you must escape or get knocked out again and suffer growing penalties. But as far as I know, the penalties never grow so strong that you're unable to play the game. It's just annoying more than anything. So if we want to put this on our bar so we can equip and unequip it, we can go here and do this. Oops. It gets kind of complicated. That person's dead. So, normally you'd be searching these people, right? Well, any item that we can interact with seems to have a blue dot. I don't know if that's a rule of thumb or if that's only a sometimes thing. We can also drink salt water and make ourselves sick. We're not going to be doing that. We can get berries. Alright, so now we get to learn about the thirsty debuff. And is it as bad as I thought? Your max stamina decreases 3 times quicker. It goes from 1 to 3 at 75%. That debuff, I think, happens a little too quickly. But this game has kind of a retro appeal to it. There are many things that we can gather here. We could end this this intro segment or tutorial quickly if we wished, simply by talking to someone or getting knocked out. I'm not inclined to do that because there are things that we can get here. The weather can change. Why is it so quiet? It's weird. I feel like I'm talking too loud. The weather can change. I read in a review that you can get the common cold. You treat it by drinking teas and whatnot to get rid of your affliction. I don't know what the common cold does, but I imagine it's annoying. We did get rags. Tattered attire. It gives us some defense and weather defense. Hot and cold is a thing. The temperature meter is right next to our health and stamina. If we had mana, it'd be directly below the orange or yellow circle. I can point to it like this. That's a reminder for myself, not for you guys. A little bit passive. Should be more crazy and shouty and... Ooh, bandages, mine. Bandages are things that you want in this game because they help you recover health much quicker. Can I put this torch away? I feel like a dork running around with it. There we go. The spear is better than nothing. I might as well run around with that. Shh, don't mind me. I'm taking bread. I will talk to him. It's not like I won't. I just need to look around. Ooh. Wait, has a ship crashed here before and this is being used as a house? Oh, yay, someone's pounding up above my head. Usually that doesn't make it into the recording, so I think you guys are fine, but I am upset. Alright. Talk to Zahn. Oh, he was in the little intro spiel.
Hey there.
Hey there. Ewan, you're alive! You must be freezing. Come warm up by the fire before you freeze to death. Where are we, Zahn? Last thing I remember was our ship hitting a rock.
We're not far from home. You can see the lighthouse from here, can't you?
No. Edo made it out too. He's making his way home to Sirza to go get help. Edo made it out too? Think a lot.
He's a Kazite. He was born on a ship.
This probably isn't the first time he's had to survive a shipwreck.
Go ahead and sleep in one of the extra bedrolls.
If you're still feeling too injured from the shipwreck, go ahead and sleep in one of the bedrolls I laid out. I'll keep watch for Edo and the rescuers. If you sleep, I believe it ends the intro segment. I am not entirely sure. I cannot remember. Anyway, that fire is useful for things, such as cooking. But I believe in order to cook anything other than basic fare, we need a cooking pot. Like some more gawberries. Ooh. Sometimes when you're harvesting berries, you can find beetles. You can use them to make... Don't eat the beetle! Ah! Oh! That's something to worry about. Accidentally clicking an item as though to select it and look at it and using it. I've done this a few times. What I was going to say is beetles can be used to make tea, but apparently you can also eat them when you're hungry. Seaweed can also be used to make tea. I believe it helps restore mana. Or burnt mana. I'm not entirely sure. It's a junk pile. Let's take a look at it. Flint and steel apples make fire. Wood can be used to make a campfire starting kit, I believe. Let's see here. I could make a primitive club and clonk people with it. I can make a quarterstaff. Campfire kit is 3. I don't know if we need that. I do want to smash people with a club. Usually crafted with wood, quarterstaff. You know, it's like 8 o'clock at night. Should you be really pounding on the floor? Because I don't think so. It's rude. There's a button to sheath your weapon. I don't know if it's important. Mine is currently X. There's a button to light and unlight your torch. All kinds of things like that, which I could have done. Let's see here. Oh, no, that's a... The quarterstaff is a two-handed item. I cannot use another item in hand with it. So not only does it include shields, but it also includes torches and other things like that. Give me the seaweed. Come here. Now, we did get a fishing spear, but I don't see any fish around here. Fishing is simple. If you have a fishing spear, walk up and click on the fish. Then it gives you fish. Then you're done. What we currently don't have is a backpack, which we could have used to carry more items. Currently, we have what's in our pockets, and that has a weight limit. If you go over that, you'll move slower and suffer other effects that you do not like. Unless you like being weighed down by stuff. I mean, I like stuff, but I also don't like it to kill me. Now we can go down here and risk our first combat. Ew, that's what that is. I'll play with that. I need to quickly check and see what the lock-on button is, because there's a lock-on button. R. Okay. That is important. Last time, I did not remember that, and it made everything very awkward. Because I thought there was no lock-on button because, well, I'm stupid. By the way, don't take everything I say as being smart. There are plenty of things that I say that are really stupid. It's just food for thought. There's a mining pick there, but it is extremely heavy, so I do not want to carry it right now. I believe normally you can loot corpses, however, placed corpses don't look like things you can loot. We're going to demonstrate that if we can by hopefully getting into combat with something that looks like a dire hyena. If you play D&D, you'll know exactly what I mean. When things get dire, they get bigger and they get like weird bony growths and stuff on them. It's strange. Ooh, salt. Oh man, now I'm very salty. Sweet. Ooh. That is the inherent problem there. It has slowed us down. Great. It is this that's weighing me down, isn't it? Yeah. No! Damn it. Well, that sucks. This is gonna be hard. At least it's only one. Is it backing away? Oh, I move so slow! Ow. Kick! I actually cannot attack right now. That's terrible. Great, the other one's here. Can I get out of here? That movement speed, though, man. This is me sprinting, by the way. It is how quickly I move. Go away! Problem is, it doesn't look like it's going to connect. Can't time it. Go away! If I had a weapon, I could hit you! Ah! But it has to frickin'... Oh, I hate the... Oh, no, he doesn't do crap. Oh, it's so annoying. You're so useless! Go away. I'm gonna go down here and risk breaking my legs. Ugh. Okay. Okay, now I can move in a normal way. Huh. Alright. Now it might be taking a long way, and maybe we'll be able to do something! Well, that's a good experiment. We know that NPCs will not react to enemies very often, I think. Or it could just be this case. Now, did it run all the way back? Where did it go? No, it's still there. It's just confused. Oh, what's this do? I don't like it. I really don't like it. Go away. Ugh. 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 Beat you with my stick. Yeah, patch overweight, blah, blah, blah. Ah, this isn't lit anymore. The rain put it out. Manual recipe, cook this for me, please. Any food recipe that is not actually a recipe will cause problems for you. Meat. Now, meat is important, along with certain other food items, because it will give us health regeneration. Very, very nice. It is very slow health regeneration. 0.25 health points per second, but it lasts for a fair amount of time. The bandage was much quicker healing, but this is nice too. Let's see if we can take out the other hyena now that our inventory isn't foobarred. Hello there, stuck entity. Would you like to fight? Ah! There's one thing to note. You have a very... So, when you attack, you have a fairly long window before you can dodge. And sometimes, to me, it feels like the game will lurch for an extra split second before you get hit. This isn't true, but at the same time, it makes me salty. Yes, a mistruth makes me feel salty. Because I feel extra bad. We can gather wood here. I believe we need an axe for that. I'm not sure. Oh, why not? Let's just test it. Nope, we can just pick it up. Wood is easy to get, so I'm not carrying it right now. We've searched that. Alright. Awesome. Now we can drink this Wawa. We don't have anything to gather it in, so we can just drink it. Now notice the dark red line here and here. It shows that our maximum health and maximum stamina have gone down. An easy way of restoring both is resting and maintaining proper nutrition. I think it's designed to keep you from permanently wandering around without resting. As, you know, normal people can't. They need sleep. They need food. We can't all be Final Fantasy protagonists, can we? Ew, these giant starfish creep me out. That one looks like if you touched it, it would be poisonous. Anyway, I think that's most of the starting area. We could go pick up a pickaxe. Arguably, it's one of the few items that we can't immediately get after we leave this area. So I guess I'll pick it up. Why not? The pickaxe isn't only a weapon, it is also a useful item for gathering. Yeah, I'm not slowed down terribly much, so it should be okay. Plus, I don't think there are any enemies around here anymore. I think it was just the two. Believe me, when I have a weapon in my hand, I can fight those things a lot better. But I'm still not very good at it. Some people might be thinking, oh yeah, it's Dark Souls-y. Yeah, but it's kind of clunky Dark Souls. I mean, the icons kind of evoke Dark Souls, like the foot and all that, the way it looks. I mean, if it was more grayscaled or the colors were a bit more muted, it would look pretty Dark Souls-y. But I'm not going to liken it to that game because it doesn't really feel like it. Maybe in terms of combat slightly, but not so much. All right, we can use an improvised bedroll. I'm going to talk this guy again just to see.
Go ahead and sleep in one of the extra bedrolls.
Yeah, that's the hint because it's in blue text, like a good old GameCube game. If anyone remembers those. Or has played a Zelda game, because I think they like to do that. I'm just gonna take a nap here with my pickaxe. Guard against an ambush. Repair some stuff. Need sunlight. Why do I need sunlight? Equipment loses durability with use, becoming weaker. Items can be repaired while you rest in a tent. Broken items can still be used. I don't know why this crack is over the top of the text. It actually makes it hard to read. You can decraft most weapons and armors. Place them in an item manual recipe. Or in the manual. Oh, there it goes. Unconsciousness comes quickly, and you dream of being ensnared in something. With a yelp, you jump out of bed. Really floods you as you recognize where you are. You're back in your old bed at home, the lighthouse of Cierzo. Yazan must have brought you back to your family's lighthouse. Only your aching body tells you that the shipwreck you suffered was not a nightmare. I wouldn't be able to sleep through that. I have no clue how you did. Dodging allows you to temporarily blah blah blah. You can light a fire with flint and steel or certain fire spells. Note, campfires don't run out of fuel, so they don't go out. Okay. Let's see here. Workers' boots, green workers' attire. We do have a stash in here. We also get to have a backpack. The primitive satchel. Oops. We'll just take it. Now, if we find ourselves in combat, this satchel will slow us down. There's a way to alleviate this. By doing that. So we'll drop it, which will make the fight easier to do. It also means that you kind of commit because it's hard to pick it up in combat, then run away. Let's see here. Tattered attire can go in there. Ooh, what's this? A dark worker hood? So this chest here can spawn with several random items. It doesn't respawn items, so you don't have to worry about it deleting what you've put in there. Which is nice. So we'll put some salt in there to make a salty chest. Yeah, we can cook that raw meat. We can do something with the bread and the berries. We don't need nearly so many torches. The quarterstaff was funny, so I want to keep it. Notably, what you put in the primitive satchel will not be accessible when you drop it. So you might want to have things that you really want to keep with you in your pockets. All right. Let's put that away. Put this in here. I will say this right now. The stash here will only remain your stash on your world. If you enter someone else's world, that stash will be their stash. Even though you will have access to it and you can move their items around like a jerk, it is actually their stash and not yours. So if you wish to enter someone else's world, make sure you have your equipment stocked and prepared before you go. Otherwise, you could end up in a bit of a situation. A situation that you will not like. Let's see here. We can put that in there. I guess I didn't need one because it spawned one. Yeah. The starting items will be randomized. My friend in his world had a pair of boots. In this one, I had several different items. So you can't count on that being there if you're thinking, I want a pickaxe. Oh, it looks like there's one there already. No, there only might be one there. Anyway, let's go play with cooking. And after we play with cooking, we'll get to the... I don't know why I put that away. Oh, because I was trying to sheath my weapon. I pushed Z instead of X, like a dummy. Here's our first recipe. Some jam, which we can use. Scrap, which we can leave. A bedroll, which is actually important. Well, actually, we might be able to use a scrap for something. lantern, which I believe we'll carry with us. Lanterns are kind of cool, but they do use fuel. You can refill them. So if we take 4 gaga berries, we boil them down into jam. And then we can make another tartine. Mmm, tasty. Let's see here. Jerky is good because it lasts a while. Here we go. Click it to use it. Did I pick up 2 or did I pick up 1? I thought I picked up 2. I must have picked up flint and steel. 1 point of scrap I don't think will give me the item that I want. You can make a dagger out of iron scrap, I believe, and it is actually a serviceable weapon because it gives you another ability. Just like the kick, you could tap the knife attack, and it's very quick and does a fair amount of damage. Also, they have a harder time dodging it because it's quick. Keep in mind, though, if you like using two-handed weapons, the dagger will not work because it's obviously, you know, part of the two-hand. You cannot equip, like, say, 2 machetes, but you can equip a machete and a knife, a machete and a pistol. So if you want a dual weapon, well, it's different. Do I have everything? I do not know. Let's see here. Salt is nice to have. Machete is a nice item. Probably don't need a lantern with us right now. A lot of tattered tires. Alright, let's enter this streets and get some plot thrown at us.
Rise and shine, trog spawn. You think you can nip off for 4 months and not pay what you owe the tribe?
Have you guys heard that the ship crashed on some rocks?
A blood price is sacred. You can't just shrug off that responsibility.
For as long as you did you forget about the ship crashing?
If I don't see the money from you by the time I count to 10, you'll regret you ever came home.
Can you even count to 10? Oh, well, she's wearing armor. She'd probably kick my ass, but still. Ugh, shake fist. Rude. I'm also glad that I remembered to put my camera up there instead of, like, down, because it'd be covering up stuff. Ugh. You know I can't pay it. All the money we had in Orochi is at the bottom of the bay. Or I just woke up from a shipwreck. Have a heart, will you? I'm gonna assume that they know about the shipwreck.
Yeah, you were on that ship too, weren't you? How many lives must your family be responsible for destroying before enough is enough?
Are you saying like I was behind the wheel? I lost my daughter on that voyage. Good lord. This doesn't change the fact that I don't have any money and can't pay you. Stop this right now. You're being unreasonable. Don't make this violent. I don't want to actually start violence because I have a big stick and that guy has a big pointy halberd, and I don't want to be poked with that.
If you can't make the payments you missed, we will seize your home.
That ought to cover 4 months of ignoring your duty to the tribe. Either pay up or get out of the way.
Enough of this. 12 people are dead. Stop this shameful behavior at once.
I'd like to think people in real life can't be this stupid. Sorry, that's rude. This is a time for our tribe to come together and mourn the loss of our loved ones, not to demand payment from a survivor who literally just woke up from not dying.
To threaten someone like this while the lost lives are still fresh is an insult to their memory.
Human was a victim of that shipwreck too, in case you haven't noticed. Under the laws of the Blue Chamber Collective, I have declared a period of mourning. You understand what that means, don't you?
But, Chamber Lady Aberdeen.
Human has clearly been... Yeah, no, he's the one that turned the ship into the rocks so he didn't have to pay us. He killed all those people and nearly himself to get out of the debt. That makes sense.
I said that is enough. If you want to resume discussions after after the mourning period. Feel free.
But until then, your concern should be for those whose lives were lost in the wreck.
Oliel, see these people off, would you?
You heard, Mother. Away with you, or I will personally see to it that you get double shifts of guard duty.
Leave him and be. Good on him.
I'm sorry that was the first thing you woke up to. Please forgive them. Many of them have lost family and are not thinking straight.
That is true. I mean... I won't go into detail about that because that's a long philosophical discussion. But, long story short, people who have recently lost loved ones tend to not act in rational ways. No. That explains it, but I don't think it excuses it. I can't believe they want to seize my home. Can't you do something?
If I could do more, I would. The most I can do for you is declare a mourning period and buy you a little time.
If you do not pay off those 4 months of missed payments on your own, the tribe will have my head. For 5 days, no one in the tribe can ask for what you owe.
That gives you a few days to pay back the money. Either gather the money or earn a tribal favor, and they won't be able to touch you.
Oh, I remember this incorrectly. I thought initially that it was actually 1,000 silver coins. 5 days to pay back all 150 silver coins. Either gather the money or earn a tribal favor, and they won't be able to touch you. I know it's not that bad, but it's blue text. It tells you what you have to do. It's actually very helpful for people who scam. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Once you can make the payment, come see me. Please find a way to make it work.
I can't possibly accomplish that. I need more time. Then I'll have to head outside the walls. The blood price is unfair. You can't hold me responsible for things that are out of my control. In a society like ours today, that would be true. In this society, no. The society was built on tribes and familial obligations. Therefore, if your family does something wrong, like say your head or someone off to the side commits a murder, then everyone within that family must pay the price. It's a very strange system. I don't know if it occurs in real life. It may have. But that's what they're talking about. Then we'll have to head outside these walls.
That does seem like your most effective option, dangerous as it is.
I doubt you'll be able to gather that much in such a short time just by staying in Cierzo. I believe it is possible. I think it has to do with cheesing with fishing or something. I'm not entirely sure.
Never forget, no one is an orphan in Cierzo. Do not hesitate to ask the rest of the tribe for survival advice.
Though you still owe us a blood price, we will still help you however we can.
If you can do a great deed for someone in Cierzo, we will owe you a tribal favor.
Which I will accept as substitute for your payment.
Once you're ready to leave Cierzo, speak with Burak, the gate
Burak?
warden.
Okay. I thought it was Burak. Either way, that sounds cool. He's got an awesome name. The Gate Warden. He will judge whether or not you're prepared to face the outside world. With that stick of yours and that silly hood.
Remember, you only have a few days. May your ancestors watch over you.
You only have a few days to pay me the 150 silver or show me proof that you've earned a tribal favor. This is reinforcing that you need to do this. Because if you do spend 5 days farting around, or if you get knocked out a bunch of times, you'll return and your house will be repossessed. I think you can still pay off the favor, but you won't have access to your stash or bed during that time. Anyway, we're going to pick up some things, and I will point out objects to you that are just laying around town that you could take. I do not remember where they all are, but there's a quarterstaff. My nose is itchy, I apologize. I probably shouldn't be running around everywhere, that'll just burn my stamina faster. Well, I will show you the easy method that we used to basically get rid of the city debt, or town debt, or blood debt, or whatever. That's a felling great axe. It's basically a big chopping axe that you can chop things with. If you like chopping stuff, get it. If you don't, I don't know, sell it. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. There's a lady up here. I believe they will ask you for something. I think it has to do with mushrooms. I'm not interested in that in the moment. Now, on top of these, there are items. Not items that are integral to the game or give you any benefit, but there are items. Let's see here if I can do something about this. Alright, fine. You can't really hop so much as roll. Come on. Nope, no, no, no. Oh! Alright, come back out! Nope. Oh, I promise I'll be able to do this. Okay. Come on. Come on. Come. There we go. There it is. Oh, come on. No! It requires some finagling. There we go. You'll be able to find items like this. Merton's Skull. It doesn't have any weight. It is merely an illusory item that takes up a slot. So if you wish to wear this, you must give up your helmet slot. There are pieces to make you look like a full skeleton littered all over this place. I'm not sure where they all are, but usually they're places that look like you can get up to, like this one because of the sloped supports. Yes, I know what supports are, I hope. They're not quite struts, which I wanted to say, but you know what I mean. It's a part of a building. Ugh. More tattered attire. A dagger! Yes! A shiv for shanking. Perfect. We don't have to make one then. Let's see what else is here. There's a pitchfork for poking, if you like poking things. Poking things is fun. As you can imagine, spear weapons probably have range. Okay, that's just rude. I shouldn't be explaining things that basic. This is a hatchet. That's for chopping things with a slightly smaller item, or slightly smaller chopping weapon. In fact, I will use this. Haha. Hooded thug. This person holding their scroll out in the rain and then... You're still holding that, aren't you? Okay, that was disturbing. Never mind that.
Greetings, friend.
He can sell things. And buy things. He's a merchant. You can get a straw hat. Shark cartilage. I'm not sure, but I believe his stock is kind of in flux. So you can get all kinds of items from him. I already have one of these, so I don't need it. We have some of those. Iron scraps are okay. That outfit alone was worth 3. Most things are like worth 1. Again, you can make the amount you need. It's just kind of difficult. If you want a slicey weapon, there's a machete over here. Ooh. But here is one of the more important things that you're going to want. A water skin. You can gather, and you can also drink it. Ah, better. The guard. Where is it? Aha! See, if you didn't collect a fishing spear, you can find one right here. And... where are the fish? Oh, there's some. Whoop. We got some raw salmon and seaweed. You can get items other than fish, like the seaweed. I believe you might be able to get blue sand, which is used to make specific armors and things. And I think boots? I'm not sure. I can't confirm much because I haven't played with fishing all that much. Which I really should, because I heard fishing is actually very lucrative or good. Near as I figure it, let's see here. Fish and other types of seafood, including seaweed, have mana restoring properties. So if you wish to be a mage, seafood is important. But to be a mage, you cannot start out as one. You have to go to Mount Magic, which my friend and I will be going to in the second set. Ooh, a pot. The cook pot allows us to cook things on a fire. You don't need it in the kitchen because it's a kitchen. Let's see here, what else do we have? Guy's working on a boat. There's the storerooms or whatever. Oh, here's something interesting. This place has skill trainers.
Amber, my friend.
Would like to train with you. Alright, so skill trading is interesting. You get a few abilities that you can learn for free, like say increase your maximum health and the amount of health you restore while sleeping by 20%, or maximum health by 20 and sleep healing by 20%. You can make shields better and get a shield charge ability, all for varying degrees of silver pennies. In order to unlock better abilities, you can spend a finite resource to enhance them. So say, like, you can pick these up for free, and you can pick up as many of those as you want from different classes. But if you want to progress to, say, these abilities, you're going to have to spend one of 3 of these. And I don't think you get any more than 3. So you can only have 3 maximized classes out of all the ones in the game. I'm not sure how many there are. I want to say there are 16 or 12. So make sure you really want these skills before you use one of them. But go ahead and pick up all the freebies. Or not the freebies, because they're not free. But you know what I mean. It behoove you to just do that.
What can I do for you?
Yes, I can teach you a Kazite trick. I can teach you a way to use a one-handed wax axe to cripple and slow your enemies. Is 50 silvers a fair price? Not now. There's a way that we can get that ability for free. And we'll be going over that in a moment. Until then, we're going to continue looking for freebies, because I actually can't remember where they all are. The lady that we were talking to will go to the town hall where we found the two-handed axe. So if you're looking for her, that's where she is. Miss Aberdeen, or Lissa, whatever her name is. Master Chef Araga.
Can I help you?
I actually didn't know this guy was here. Can you teach me how to eat well when I'm out in the wild? I got you covered. What's on your mind? Not sure how to find food out there. What's a quick and easy way to cook? I want to try my hand at more advanced dishes.
On top of hunting, you can forage for fish or berries.
Pick gobberries from bushes or use a fishing harpoon at the fishing spot. Cook any raw meat and boil any water that isn't clean before eating. You don't want to get sick. You definitely don't. Food poisoning is annoying.
Can I help you?
It's where you can buy recipes and whatnot. You can just attempt to figure out recipes by putting things together. It generally isn't too bad. Ooh, bread for 1 silver. You combine that with a jam, and actually, it's quite lucrative. Or not lucrative, it's quite good. Because 100 becomes 3 sets of 125, which is nice. I think it also lasts a bit longer. You can obviously sell that, though, if you want. I could get that other pot and break it down into iron scraps. However, there's another item laying here that we can take. And also I need to check how long the recording is going. Oh my goodness, we've been at this for 48 minutes.